Red Deer Alberta. So, are you thinking about Central Alberta, or maybe you've already decided to move to Central Alberta? That is so exciting, and you're thinking about specifically moving to Red Deer Alberta? Well, this video is perfect for you. So whether you're thinking about moving in 9 days, 90 days, or 1 year from now, we are here to help people just like you and answer all of your questions. So, Shalane Walls, Jason Walls with the Walls Real Estate Group, welcome to this video where we're going to help you navigate Red Deer. So, Red Deer. If you don't know what it has to offer, you know what you should do. You should like, you should subscribe, then you'll be able to go back to our YouTube channel and see all of the videos that we have prepared that's going to help you with your move to Central Alberta and specifically Red Deer. We talk about things like education, healthcare, job opportunities, supports, things for your teens to do, and we even have up and coming videos coming every single week to help people just like you. So if you're new to our channel, you might not know what we always say, but we always say we do the research so you don't have to. So let's dive into this. So when you move to Red Deer, it's pretty easy to navigate through the city. It's set up pretty well. So the way, and I'm going to show you a map in a second, so you don't need to worry. For now, we're just going to talk about it so that when we do dive into the map, it'll make a little bit more sense. So Red Deer is divided up into the north end of Red Deer and the south end of Red Deer. So when you think about that, you think about where Red Deer is situated in Central Alberta, which we talk about in our videos, but if you're new here, it's situated on the QE2, Highway 2, the Queen Elizabeth Highway, the Deuce, whatever you want to call it, between Calgary, Alberta to the south, Edmonton, Alberta to the north. We are right smack dab in the middle, and the city actually runs that way as well. So when you drive into Red Deer from Calgary, you're going to be at what's called the south end of Red Deer. Now you can drive all the way on that same road. The highway turns into what's called Gates Avenue, all the way through the city, back out onto the highway if you want. And that's going to take you to the north end of the city. Now, of course, we have east and west. So if you want to navigate the city, there are many easy routes. So you come into the city on Gates Avenue, which is the south side, and you need to get to the east side or the west side. That's very simple. You can take what we call, which is a major road, 32nd Street. So in Red Deer, our streets go east to west and our avenues goes north to south. So it's very, very, very easy for you to figure out. So when you first arrive, one of the main ones we'll talk about is 32nd Street. Now that will take you all the way from the Red Deer Polytechnic or the highway, all the way to the very, 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 very east side of Red Deer and out if you need to go out to Stettler, if you need to go to Joffrey. So it's a very easy way to get from one end of the city, but also access different entries and exits to highways and other centers. Now you can even go a little bit further and you can go over to Ross Street. Now Ross Street is kind of the divider of, if you talk to Red Deerians and we say the north side and the south side, it's kind of divided by that Ross Street corridor. So Ross Street will take you again from the very east side, Rosedale, Davenport area, which we'll talk about all those in the map, all the way through the downtown. So if you work downtown, this is an easy access, easy route, and it will take you all the way down out to the west side of Red Deer, and you can access the highway quite easily on another entity which goes north to south called Taylor Drive. Now Taylor Drive is just kind of what we like to call a ring road, and it takes you all the way around the city and helps you avoid most of the traffic lights. So Taylor Drive again takes you all the way around the city. Gates Avenue takes you through the city, and those are called our avenues. But I know it's kind of confusing because now I'm telling you about a drive. So anyways, that's all you need to know about that. But we can go one step further into the city. So we've crossed that Ross Street corridor, which separates the north and the south side for easy navigation. and we get to what we call 67th Street. Now 67th Street is the exact same thing as those same streets. It will take you from east to west and get you out to the Highway 2 or get you out into other town centers and highway accesses. So again, pull into Red Deer on the south end of the city from Calgary, Alberta, and you can go 32nd Street, east to west, hit the highway or not. Then you can go to Ross Street, which is kind of the city divider, and then you can go to 67th Street. Let's look on the map before we go into what separates the city and then kind of the corridors within the north side and the south side. So I'm just gonna go down here onto my Google map so you can see the little hand here waving at you. So like I said, if you're gonna come in to Red Deer off of the highway, it's going to look like, okay, so let's actually start over here. So here it says North Red Deer. So here you can see that road that I'm talking about to get all the way through the city that takes you out from one end to the other, literally. Then if you come over here and you can see the Red Deer Resort and Casino, that's kind of a good landmark for you to think about where 32nd Street is. So when you're coming into Red Deer, so you see my little hand here, it says 2A, but we call it, you know, Gates Avenue or 49th, whatever you want to call it. And you get to 32nd and you're wondering how you can navigate from east to west. And you see that big Red Deer Resort and Casino, and it is big, and we do have a video about that, so don't forget to check that out. But you can go east to west here. And this is going to take you all the way down to the Red Deer Polytechnic. So if you're thinking of coming here for university or to teach, that is right here. But also Highway 2 gets you easy access to that as well. I know it seems confusing, but once you get here and you're going through it, it really is quite easy. To go on to Taylor Drive, you're gonna see the Taylor Drive goes along the river and takes you out of the city limits. So it's really quite nice to take that drive. Especially if you're in a hurry or you have kids at different sides of the city in different schools, you're going to want to take that Taylor Drive to avoid all the lights and a lot of the traffic. So again, we're coming in on the south end of the city. Here's that 32nd Street corridor. Now we just keep going up here a little bit, and then we're going to go up here, and then you can see here's North Red Deer. So then we can make our map bigger, and you can see that 67th Street runs along here. So like I said, it's quite easy. It's like a big cross, like a big north, south, east logo. You come in and there's major intersections to help you navigate. Now, one more thing I want to talk about, we're going to get away from the map now. One more thing I want to talk about navigating in the city of Red Deer is that our subdivisions, for 90% of them, start with a letter. So for instance, Deer Park, every street in that neighborhood is going to start with a D. So, and when you pull into that neighborhood, there's an area map. In case you don't have your GPS or in case you're maybe not sure what you're looking for, there is an area map and every street is labeled. So it makes it really easy for you to navigate. Or maybe you're going to Lancaster and you want to figure out where you're going in there. Again, there's an area map and all of the streets start with the letter L. So it's very easy. When you move here and somebody says, oh, I live in Highland Green, you're like, okay, I'm not exactly sure where that is, but oh, I'm sure that their street name starts with an H. And you'll start to understand, there's not a lot of subdivisions, so you'll start to understand where they are in the city in proximity to the north, south, east, and west side. So let's just dive back down here into this map. Now this is a little bit smaller, so you can go onto Google Maps, City of Red Deer, and you can do exactly what I'm doing. You can expand it, you can contract it, you can click on, like I'm doing right here, if you just look, restaurants, hotels, things to do, transit. It will tell you every single bus stop and where they are in case you don't have a car and you need to navigate that way. Or if you are navigating the city on a bike or by foot, you can also go on here on the map. And if you look down here on the bottom left where my little hand is, you can look at the terrain, you can look at the biking, like I said, the transit, you can check the traffic. So like I said, if you do have kids in multiple schools and you need to get around the city quite quickly, like I used to have to do. So we had 5 kids in different schools, so we had to do a big loop around the city every single day, and it was timed well. And the school bells are timed great that you will never have your child waiting for you. So that is something also that you don't have to worry about when moving to the city of Red Deer. If you have some kids in elementary, or you have some in high school, or you have some in the private sector, it doesn't matter. They will all chime together, and the routes are very streamlined if your child is not able to go on the bus because it doesn't qualify on the distance for whatever reason. Now let's go back down into my map so you can see my little hand here. Okay, so let's just go to the top, and this is the north side, the north end of Red Deer. Now the northwest side of Red Deer is the older part of Red Deer. So we have areas, and you can write this down if you want, or you can always refer back to the video. So the older part of Red Deer, the northwest side, has places like Oriole Park, and it'll say Oriole Park West, or we have Kentwood, or we have Johnstone Park, or we have Glendale, or we have Highland Green. So again, all of those subdivisions are going, those streets are going to start with those letters. So if you live over there, you're going to start to know and hear those areas of the city. So again, that's the older part of the city. But also on the northeast side of Red Deer is a new up and coming part of the city of Red Deer, where we have places like Evergreen, which are filled with new builds, which you're going to love if that's something you're considering. Close to the golf course, close to River Bend, close to Discovery Canyon. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you know what you need to do. You need to check out our other YouTube videos so you can know all about the city of Red Deer. Or you can also go to thecityofreddeer.ca, and everything you need to know about this beautiful city is on their website, from transportation to activities to jobs to property taxes, population to utilities, garbage pickup. Everything you need to know about our city is going to be on cityofreddeer.ca. So also over here on the northeast side of Red Deer, we have so many new restaurants and shops. And like I said, we have that new subdivision, Evergreen. We also have the new subdivision, Timberland, Clearview Ridge. So it is really up and coming. So when you think of the north end of Red Deer, to be honest, and I want to be transparent with you guys like we always are, in the old days, now I'm aging myself, we used to say, oh, the north end, oh, the north end. It was a little bit kind of a stigma towards the south end, but that's not the way it is anymore. And once you get here and you drive around and you navigate your way through the city, you're gonna soon realize exactly what I'm gonna talk about. There are $1 million homes over there. There are beautiful trails, there are parks, there's fine dining, there's high-end boutiques, there's high-end health facilities. So if you are looking for a high-end hairdresser, or maybe you need some sort of esthetician, that's all over there. And they've kind of designed the city over there so that if you live over there, you really don't have to go anywhere else unless you want to. There's Walmart. The only thing that's not at the north end of Red Deer is Costco. And if you're wondering where Costco is, you need to go watch my video, Gasoline Alley, because Costco is on Gasoline Alley. So if you're new here, I'm just going to quickly tell you, when you're coming in on the, say from Calgary, on the Highway 2, you're going to see all of these restaurants, gas stations, stores. That is called Gasoline Alley on each side of the highway. That's where Costco is. So that is not on the north end. You're going to have to hop on 67th Street if you're on the north end and get onto the Highway 2 and go over to Costco and Gasoline Alley and those services. But literally, that's going to take you about 6 minutes. So even though Red Deer is a city of over 100,000 people, you can really get from one end to the other in about 15 minutes in heavy traffic. So now let's go back. Let's go southways from in our city, from the north end that I just talked about. Now in the center of our city, like I talked about at that Ross Street, If you go east, there's a beautiful neighborhood called Rosedale. It's very well established, has high-end homes, it has mature yards. At one time, it was one of Red Deer's finest neighborhoods until, the city builds up and then there's new and up-and-coming neighborhoods, just like any other city. If you go to the west side of the city center, it takes you to the downtown quarter, and that's where you're gonna find City Hall, that's where you're gonna find the police station, that's where you're gonna find the courthouse, that's where you're gonna find some specialty restaurants, the Ross Street patio. If you're not familiar with that, you know what you need to do. Google it. Google the city of Red Deer. Google the Ross Street patio. Everything is here. My job is to do the research so you don't have to, and provide you the links and shorten down your research time so you can do the things that you like to do. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about what's downtown because I have a video for that. So you need to like and subscribe so you can see about all of the information that Jason and I have provided for people just like you. And like I say, whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, or a year from now, we are here to help people just like you. Okay, let's get back at it. So let's go back. We're heading back south. So say we were at the Edmonton side of the city, if that's easier for you. Let's head back down to the Calgary side of the city. So we've gone through the middle of the city. So we're at the north end, we're at the middle of the city. Now let's head into the south of the city. So the southwest side of the city, like I said, you're gonna see that big Red Deer Resort and Casino. That is gonna be a huge landmark for you to distinguish where you are. So you're gonna be on that Gates Avenue, which goes north and south through the entire city, 32nd Street corridor, which goes east and west. So once you get there, you're gonna be able to zip out to Highway 2, get out of the city if you want, go to the Red Deer Polytechnic, go to one of our Red Deer's finest neighborhoods called West Lake and West Park Estates, Heritage Ranch, so many beautiful things over there, even Bower Ponds, or you can go the other way, east, and you're gonna have neighborhoods, well-established neighborhoods like Mount View, Grandview, Morse Row, Anders, Lancaster. All of those beautiful neighborhoods, Deer Park, are all the way over there to the east. Now you can keep on coming, and you're gonna come on to newer neighborhoods that we have. More L's, but Laredo. Laredo is a new extension of Lancaster. I know this sounds confusing, but it's really not. Once you get over there, the subdivisions are labeled. So you are gonna see the big sign that says Lancaster, and you're gonna keep driving. You see the big sign that says Laredo. You're gonna see the big sign that says Inglewood. You're gonna see the big sign that says Anders. Anders on the Lake. That is where those beautiful neighborhoods are. So those are off. You go up 32nd Street to the east. So then once you keep coming a little bit further, you're kind of on your way out of the city. So as you can see, we kind of have three major sections, but within those sections, a couple of different corridors. So you have the north with the northwest, the northeast, so the little bit older, the newer. Then you move to the middle of the city with the beautiful Rosedale. Then you dip to the downtown quarter. Then you come over here to the south end of the city, which you get the southeast and the southwest. So that is really a big overview of our city done within a few minutes. Now within the city of Red Deer, what kind of city would we be if we didn't have traffic circles? Now I'm not gonna lie to you guys, over the past couple of years, for some reason, our infrastructure department has decided traffic circles are exactly what the city needs. So when you come here, you might have a giggle to yourself because I know us Red Deerians, we think, what are all these traffic circles? There are quite a few of them, but it really actually does help the flow. And yes, some people don't know how to use them quite yet, but for the most part, they're smooth flowing, easy to navigate, and it really does cut down that traffic time and increase the flow of traffic at those busy periods. And even though we are a city of over 100,000 people, it is not bumper to bumper traffic like it is in some of our other centers like Calgary or Edmonton. We are not the million, we do not have the million people here like they do. Within the city of Red Deer, we also have some industrial parks, so you're gonna find that. So when you're driving around, which I encourage you to do, or if you need someone to help navigate you when you're here looking at houses, Jason and I are happy to take you on a tour of Red Deer. It's something that we really like to do because we feel that we really are able to highlight some of the great parts of our city and also help you navigate in a way that's going to be familiar to you when you come on your own. So back to those industrial parks. So on the north end, back over by the Edmonton side of Red Deer, we have what's called Edgar Industrial Park. And over there we have the Calfracs, the Baker Hughes, the trucking companies, Coca-Cola, those kinds of businesses. So we also did do a video on that. So if you're curious about what the industrial parks have to offer and the job opportunities, you definitely should check out that video. Then to the south, over to the Calgary side, we have Clearview Industrial Park. And that has places like Predator Drilling, Mechanics, Red Deer Piling, many of the same type of businesses as the north side. So that heavy to light industrial. So if you have a job in that and you need to be able to navigate your commute time, then you're probably gonna wanna look back on that map that I provided. So depending on where you're going to work, you might wanna pick areas around there. But like I said, Red Deer is not that big and we have so many routes that make it easy for you to get to one side of the city or around the city that your commute time is not going to be that busy. And again, like I mentioned, if you have kids in multiple schools, you're going to be able to navigate that route and shave off time just by figuring out your quickest route and using this Google map that shows you the traffic, which is really a great feature. And most of us know we can put it on our phone as an app, but if you don't know, definitely put Google Maps on your phone. And when you're here in Central Alberta looking at the city and the beautiful neighborhoods and the areas, that will definitely help you. You can do a sky view, a street view, a satellite view, whatever it is you need. And maybe you will do that before you even waste some of your time going to check out a neighborhood. And you might be like, oh, that's way too far for me. Oh, that's not the kind of houses I want to look at. And also speaking about the kind of houses in the neighborhoods, Red Deer is fairly consistent at the types of homes we offer in our neighborhoods. So Jason and I, again, have videos on the different homes that we have in our areas and price points. But if you don't have time to watch, give us a call, a text, or an email with your questions, and we are happy to answer them anytime. We're happy to take you on a tour, we're happy to show you the houses, and we're happy to talk about any questions you might have about this video in great detail. So again, we're here to help people just like you. We get calls and emails every single day and we love to be here to help you. And we always want to do the research so you don't have to. So whether you're thinking about moving in 9 days, 90 days, or a year from now, we're here to help you. Shalane Walls, Jason Walls, the Walls Real Estate Group.